able
relate.
to.
Okay.
Hello, everybody in the chat. This is our live interview and gameplay demo of Consortium, game by Interdimensional Games, and I'm talking to Gregory MacMartin, the lead designer on the game, and co-founder of the game, right? Of the company, I believe.
Yep. Hi there. Yes.
And Grosny is asking, is this interview in English? And yes, it is, because you are from where? Australia? US?
Canada.
I can't remember.
Canada, yeah.
Canada,
We're West Coast Canada.
Perfect.
Yeah. Here in Vancouver.
Okay.
BC.
Let us just, with the people in the chat right now, can you maybe check the sound level and see if it's okay? I've just turned the audio way down. And is the video also showing correctly?
Looks good to me.
Perfect. How is Gregory's voice? Is it loud enough? Otherwise, I'll have to turn myself down, because we can't turn him up anymore. I believe so.
I think I need to keep my sound muted because I'm the delay. I hear myself 5 seconds after.
That would definitely be a problem. So
I've heard the game 4,000 times, so I don't need the sound.
Perfect. Yeah, Grosny says that the sound is nice, so let us just try to start the game, and then we can just adjust accordingly. I can still press escape and change the sound when I'm in the game, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Sure.
So can you tell us a little bit about Consortium while I'm setting up the game?
Sure, yeah. A lot of the things that what our videos have said is actually dead on. Basically, now the game's almost finished. Looking back at it, basically what it is, it's a pure sci-fi role-playing experience. It's about as pure as you can get. Most people these days, when you say, yeah, it's a role-playing game, they think numbers, stats, monster crunching, killing, getting experience points, getting loot, those sorts of things. But role-playing games at their root really are about role-playing. They're about becoming part of a story, taking on a character, interacting with people, and forging relationships. And that's really what role-playing games started off as.
Yeah.
So this game's about kind of going back to the root of what role-playing games are supposed to be about, in our opinion, and what they've lost, what they've forgotten about being, basically,
cool.
in favor of loot and special effects and spells and killing and experience points and numbers and stuff like that.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's really what it's about. It's a pure sci-fi experience. It's a game really 7 years in the making.
Yeah, it started out as a RIG, or what you'd call it, right? An alternate reality game, or something like that, right?
Yes, well, it's more like it started well before then. The ARG was really our intro to Consortium, to the world. We had been spending years on world building and coming up with all the core underlying universe, that the whole game's based in. Yeah. For years, really, we had the full screenplay for the first game already, drafted out, and a full idea of what we were making. We had a full working prototype at that point, and then we decided we wanted to start coming out to the world, describing it with a pure experience, very much like I knew our final game was going to be. So yes, we designed and started and launched an alternate reality game January 2010. Yeah. And that generated a bunch of interest in the ARG community. We have a huge thread in the unfiction ARG community. It's basically the biggest ARG community on the internet. There's a gigantic forum there you can dive into it, and basically spend hours and hours sort of toiling in the backstory of Consortium through our ARG. We have a full interactive Flash experience. We've designed it specifically to allow anybody to come in and play through the whole thing from beginning to end. You don't have to be, there was an ongoing ARG thing. It's obviously years ago now, but you can actually play it as if it's a game. No, as if it's a traditional game in many respects. That's we designed it that way.
I just wanted to show the beginning here. Like, you have to sign this user agreement because you are actually yourself. You're a player, right? Entering the body of another person.
That's right. That is there's a metafiction that underlies Consortium, that whereby what you're doing really is using our satellite to transmit your consciousness into somebody else's head in a future alternate universe to ours. Yeah. You're actually almost like being John Malkovich, the movie. It's very similar, where you're inside someone's head and you control them and control their actions and speak as them. So there's a serious twinge to it, is that you shouldn't be abusing this. You take this responsibility of potentially making potentially altering the course of another universe. very, very seriously. Yeah.
Okay, can you just set up the fiction here a little bit? Where do we start, and what's the setup?
The very beginning, the satellite is shooting you into a certain point in space and time. So you see here, you're being shunted into what we call the quantum limbo, of which is a connection point between your consciousness that's being shunted through the satellite, and then into the mind of Consortium Bishop 6, of this human being that's in this other universe.
Yeah.
You're basically, this whole right here, this tunnel represents the limbo, and then as you go from the tunnel, as you approach the flashing light, you're basically merging with his consciousness, and then you wake up. Then you wake up, and you're still kind of somewhat dreaming even when you're on the bed, and then you're sort of in that state between waking and sleeping, and then what the hell? There's some weird blipping going on there.
Oh, there's
is it look? It's blinking between the sky. That's really strange.
It's not doing that on my screen. This is not the final build, we should say. So things might.
Well, it's not. You're not seeing. You're actually not seeing it in your game.
I am not seeing it in the game. No. But it looks to be okay now. Like when I watched the stream, right?
Yep. Looks okay now. It's not doing that blipping. Yeah.
Well, now it's popping a little bit out of the. Yeah. We don't really know why it's doing that, but I think we should be able to get by. But there might be a little bit weirdness as it's not the final game. So here we have the first dialogue choice. I will just answer. So now you have to guide me through the game. How do I open the door?
Yeah, someone's outside the door. They have hit the at the F keys are you used to talk to someone outside the door. And you can choose to say what you want.
Perfect. Oh, there is a little bit of weirdness going on in the stream. I hope.
The stream is doing weird stuff. Yeah, it's like the game that our engine is not, or the engine is not liking the stream for some reason.
It's a little bit weird. I'll try not to move around too much. So, tell me about what we're seeing.
This is Rook 25. She's one of the rooks on board Zenlo. You are free to talk with her, say what you want, say nothing, ignore her. Really, this is an example of the level of player agency that we have imbued into the game. The players, you are entirely up to you what you decide to do with the characters. Say what you will. We tried our best to create as many different possible choices of what to say to people as possible. So you can take conversations in all kinds of different directions. This is very, very deep conversation trees, all voice acted by a very, very, very awesome cast actually here in Vancouver. And she basically thinks you're just the bishop who just came aboard the plane. She thinks you just boarded a few hours ago and you just came off a mission, so you're tired. That's why you're sleeping. And she just woke you up because there's a bunch of planes outside Zenlo that they've begun escorting you through Bulgarian space. It's led by a man named Kirill Angelov, and he's leader of a group it's a slang term for the group called the Homeless Mercenaries, and they've had dealings with the Consortium before. The Consortium itself, the organization, you're now in one of the command centers of. This is the Zenlo Mobile Command Center. The Consortium is a global, worldwide peacekeeping force that is not bound to any mandate other than protecting the Earth's environment and maintaining global peace at all costs. You are, as a bishop, you're the strong arm of the Consortium. This is the Rook. She's your weapons and tactical specialist.
So right now I am actually doing some of what you might have read about. Like I am breaking the fourth wall by playing a guy who don't really know about the things I should maybe know about because I'm this bishop guy. But I am actually the player. So one of the things that's interesting is that you can just tell the people that, hey, I'm actually this other guy, right?
Yes, yeah. That's woven through. That's really annoying. That the game does not like your streaming at all.
No, I think it's because we have to do.
This static is actually part of the game. This is actually correct. The static here.
I think that it's just because we have to capture the whole, everything on the computer, not just the window for the game, because we need to get your audio in with it. But let's see how it turns out. Nico is asking, what program do you use for streaming? We use OBS, Open Broadcast Software. And Lucas asks, how did you get the idea to the game?
Oh yeah, actually, there's a bit of a quick story to that. It came the idea one of the core concepts behind the grand story that this is embedded very deeply into this game. I came up with back in 1996 actually, and the idea kind of grew and it's always been in the back of my mind. It's always part of a game, part of the ultimate game I've always wanted to make, and that's what Consortium actually is finally. But through the course of my career working in other companies and shipping other games, it kind of grew in my mind, and then really it came from my last professional gig that I shipped was a game called Scarface: The World Is Yours. It's a game rooted in crime. It's kind of like, it's basically a GTA clone, really, but it was a fun game and I learned a lot. But at the same time, I guess fun gig and I learned a lot. But it was a lot of killing. There's a lot of reveling in crime, reveling in selling drugs, and a lot of just huge amounts of approachable killing. And I really got sick and tired of it. I'm like, I don't want to work in games like this anymore. Yeah. So I was really inspired to try to make a game that brought something positive to the world, that brought something useful, that I'd be proud to give it to your kids, let's say, and say, play this. But at the same time, adults can enjoy it as well. Something classy, something meaningful, something that has some kind of moral backbone. So forming Interdimensional Games was kind of based on that idea. And Consortium is really the result of 7 years of trying to make it, making it a reality. It's a game that really does take things seriously in terms of, should you really be killing everything, right? You should be thinking twice about that, and there's consequences to doing so. You can do it. There's a lot of open freedom for how you tackle the game. But the game just adapts to you. There's no preaching. It's more of just like there's characters in the world, and they all have their beliefs and feelings, and they'll react to what you decide to do or not do appropriately. And so it's true role playing, really. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so let's try to hopefully move around a little bit without it cracking up too much. But I think it should be fine. It's not like it's just popping in and out a little bit sometimes. But
yeah, it's really weird. But what's happening is you're seeing the sky. The whole world shutting off for split seconds. You're seeing the sky. Yeah, that's really strange.
But it is still like a little bit of an early version. So and we're of course streaming this, so it shouldn't be.
Well, that doesn't do that ever.
No. As I'm playing the game, it's just like I can't see. I can only see it on the stream. This flickering thing. Yeah. But you should be able to follow along, I think. Let me try to move a little bit out of position so it doesn't do that too much. Otherwise, I can try. Can I save the game because I can try to maybe run it in a window?
You can save it.
Perfect.
It might work. It might run better in a window.
Yeah. Let's just try that. While we're trying that, Rosny asks, is it difficult for a small game company to make a game that is up to par with the big players like EA and Blizzard?
From a production value point of view, oh yeah, impossible. Actually, it's not difficult; it's impossible. Those big companies are run very, very shrewd businessmen who are in turn beholden to shareholders and whatnot. So they're all about profit and making large sums of money, and then spending that money very, very carefully on risk-free games. And by risk-free games, I mean games that focus largely on creating the most awesome graphical experience possible. Yeah. Wow you with spectacle. Very much like Hollywood, the approach to the movies they make in the summer, big blockbusters, right? Basic, same old formulas, tired stories, tired characters, but with unbelievably amazing graphics. Yeah. A lot of productions have that sort of mandate because graphics sell games, right? We've had a hard time getting Consortium to get the attention we think it deserves, simply because we don't have millions and millions of dollars of production value behind it, right? Yeah. So that's really the key thing there. So that's why we've been focused really hard on trying to create the actual game experience itself to be as fantastic as possible from a player point of view. Like we've seen all these big games come out recently. The Last of Us is a great example, or the Uncharted series, the things of that nature, games that are getting all the acclaim for the storytelling that they do. And there's no doubt about it, they do great storytelling, and they're wonderfully awesome spectacle productions, really, really, really amazing productions. But they're not really interactive, really, from a storytelling point of view. They're awesome CG movies that you control the camera and do some combat and things of that nature. So they're awesome storytelling experiences, so to speak, but they're not really they're not awesome game experiences in our point of view. So we tried to go the opposite and take Consortium into it really is a video game from the point of view of you're always making choices.
I think I hit her, but I was just trying to skip the dialogue because we started a little bit backwards. But I think this actually
looks better so far.
Yeah, definitely.
I
think we actually fixed the problem, so that's good. But can you? One of the things I'm interested in is that, like, I'd like to hear a little bit about the whole Kickstarter thing. Like, what was it like going on Kickstarter and like getting finance from that?
It's actually a harrowing experience. And I say that for the full scope of it, because our very first Kickstarter, we had to pull the plug on it.
Yeah.
We made a pretty terrible error back in 2012. We decided to, in retrospect, a horrible decision to announce the existence of Consortium at the same time that we launched a Kickstarter for it. And so we treated the first Kickstarter like we were announcing the game. And that's a terrible mistake. Never do that. To anybody that's listening that's considering doing something like that, it's a horrible, horrible, bad thing to do. Because basically Kickstarters thrive on people knowing about it. And at the same time, as a Kickstarter pitch is very different than a game announcement video. They're not the same thing. They're really fundamentally different. But we treated them as the same, and we suffered because of it, and we had a hard time. I think eventually the first one might have been successful, but we needed more than a month to generate awareness, right?
Yeah.
So the clock was running on that first one, so it was like, okay, this is just bad. So we totally pulled the plug on it. But then we reorganized, and we looked at everything, and we sat down and we made sure we picked a goal that was really truly the minimum with the absolute minimum of what we would need to finish the game, because we had already had great support. We're funded by what's called the Canada Media Fund.
Yeah.
So a big chunk of our funding has come from that, which is a fantastic Canadian-based funding program that's linked to the government and is really a fantastic. They're all about championing and creating experimental, very fresh and original, innovative content from Canada. So they had, luckily, with their support, we've made most of the game. But Kickstarter came in. The second campaign was really a great experience in the end, because it was successful. We got a lot more than we asked for.
Yeah.
And the people have been great. The people, the Kickstarter backers have been fantastic. We couldn't have gone this far without them. We've gotten a lot of them were signed up as beta testers. So over the course of the last 6 or 7 months, we've sent out beta copies steadily, and we've gotten a ton of feedback and a ton of bug reports and things like that from them.
Cool.
So it's been really awesome. I love the platform, and I believe in it as basically a major venue in the future for being able to fund games. And I think so. The old publisher model, I think, is dead. I hope it's dead for good, anyways.
Yeah, I just think it must be like terrible to like sit there and constantly refresh the web page, hoping that you get a little bit more funding, right? It must be like tough in the like also like deciding if you're going to like stick with it or pull the plug, because you don't get that many chances in that business.
Yeah, that first one, yeah. It was tough, but it was the right decision to make. I mean, it's you can see all the metrics, you can see how many people are actually even just aware of the page, and you can recognize the tactical error in terms of the pitch, what you were saying. It's Kickstarter is all about positioning. It's all about what you say, how you say it, how you present yourself, and also how what you say about your game, what you're describing that the game's going to be in the end. And honestly, for Consortium, it's actually pretty difficult for us a year and a half ago to actually describe this game to people, because it's very different than most games. We didn't follow any formula. We didn't copy any particular game. We ignored all genre conventions completely. We just it's all about the story. It's all about the experience of being on board Zenlo at this place in time with these people. And events happen, and you simply are among them. That's player agency is really what we're championing here. So
yeah. I think the look of the game is really cool. It's like it's got a very, very good art style.
Thank you. Yeah, Jason will be happy to hear.
Yeah, a lot of people have also like compared it to like a mix between Mass Effect and The Last Express, and from what I can tell, it's like those are two great games, and The Last Express it's like a very underrated game, like narrative.
It's a classic for sure.
I think it definitely has some of the same like real-time feel. It actually seems to be running very good right now.
Actually, it does look pretty good. The stream looks great. It stutters a couple times, but overall it's pretty good.
Yeah, cool. The stream is sometimes a little laggy. I can't really do anything about that.
But
we have a couple of questions in the chat.
Yeah, How is the IDG One Discoveries document coming along?
Yep.
Actually, our lead writer is working on that right now. We've now, as the game's pretty much wrapped up. He's just doing the final pass on the actual game screenplays, and then he's moving right back on to IDG One Discoveries. Like I say, he's already begun it, and as soon as this game's shipped, which is really imminent, really imminent, we'll spend all our time on all the rewards. So all the Kickstarters will get all kinds of goodies over the next month or two. Cool. we got posters and T-shirts and all the digital stuff like that. When Discoveries document all coming down the pipe. So yeah, exciting.
Cool. So when will the game actually come out? Do you have a time frame for it? I can't give you
an exact date, but yeah, next week. Actually, on Steam.
On Steam, okay.
Imminent. Yes, cool. Before Christmas.
You just got green-lighted.
Yes, we did. What
was that like? That's also like a...
the timing couldn't have been better. That's one thing about this whole project. Timing's always been the last second with this entire project. In a spooky way, I kid you not. Yeah. It's always like the last second when we're all about to run out of money and we're all completely like at the end of our rope. Suddenly stuff comes through and we're able to keep on going. That's like a pattern. Yeah. I kid you not. So us getting greenlit right now is perfect because we've been always intending to launch before Christmas. This game takes place at Christmas. If you may have noticed, December 21st, 2042 is when the game takes place, and it's very much rooted in that time. People reference the holiday. The crew of Zenlo are heading back to Ireland for the holidays, in fact. And that's referenced a couple times in the story, so we wanted to sort of, get it out for the holidays.
Cool. So what should I actually be doing now? What should I actually be doing now?
I mean, there's I don't know if you may have noticed talking to me, but you can hit the M button. Hit the M button to bring up your current objective.
Okay, yeah. It's difficult to follow along with the talking, looking at the chat, and listening to all the dialogue.
Yeah, this is a very immersive game. Actually, the details and paying attention to every single detail is very, very key to playing. It's a true like sit in your room in the dark with the headphones on, with the sound cranked, and play. That's this kind of game this is.
Cool.
So really, right now it's about just exploring Zenlo and talking to people. That the beginning of the game is very low key in that way. You should do what you want.
Cool.
Interact, talk. Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about what's going to what types of gameplay you can expect from the rest of the game? What's like the combination of different things you can do?
The root of the game is conversation. Is our characters is forming relationships between characters. But that it is balanced out with there is a combat component. As a Consortium bishop, you have access to gadgets and weaponry and defensive gear that can come into play depending upon how you play the game. This combat really is all part of the story. So whether combat even happens at all is entirely dependent upon your choices in the story. It's entirely possible to play through the whole game using diplomacy, saying the right things to the right people, and avoiding bloodshed completely. If combat does break out, then it's fairly intense combat based. That's non-lethal and lethal. So there you have non-lethal and non-lethal gear. It's up to you how you use that. So you can decide to incapacitate every component you encounter and not kill anybody, or you can take the little easier route and just pull out your machine gun and just mow everybody down if you so wish. Both of which have consequences, both of which ripple through the story as you play through. But experiencing the story from a truly, from whatever vantage point you wish is really the heart of the game. It's about you're on this plane, this place in time with all these people, and they're all doing things. They all have jobs. You have a job. You're among them, really, among the crew, and it's experiencing what's. Oh yeah, that's fine. And it's experiencing the story as it progresses, and you can see how you can modify and change and adapt it. The game has many different branches and splits and things that it remembers that you did and things of that nature. So, the one thing you could do right now, if you want to just go to the virtual trainer. So head back to the cabin where you were.
Yep. Was it up here? I can't remember where I came from. That's not up here, right?
That way. Yeah.
This is okay. Okay, this is not the right way.
No. Go back down the stairs. And just take take a left or right. Well, no. Okay.
Yeah, down the stairs.
Down the stairs. Down the stairs.
Okay.
Yeah. That was fine too.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter. You said about the beginning of the game, you can do whatever you want. But if you want to take a look at the combat stuff now, you can. You can a virtual trainer.
We also have a couple of questions in the chat. Lucas asks, why the year 2024?
2042, actually.
2042,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, yeah.
2042, yeah. Well, it's near future, but also far enough in the future that we can invent a fair amount of cool sci-fi technology that, it's a little far-fetched for right now.
Yeah.
But it's still potentially feasible for that time frame. Yeah, just head in that booth, walk in that booth.
This booth? Oh, yeah. Cool. And Grosny asks, why do you think that small companies are very innovative? Are they sort of forced because they can't compete with the big players on graphics and stuff?
What do you think small companies are very? Sounds like you've answered your own question. Pretty much. There's it's almost like because of the fact that we're indie, we're small companies, we are able to innovate in ways that the huge companies that have a lot of money at stake and a lot of shareholders at stake aren't able to. They from a business perspective, they're going to stick to a proven formula because it guarantees sales. It's much less risky, whereas small companies are willing and able and are passionate about games and about what's possible. So we get the innovation from us because we don't have shareholders and things of that nature.
Yeah.
We make them because we love them and we believe in what's possible with them.
So here you have a soldier. Oh.
Yeah, so to begin with, you got your personal containment unit. That's a device you just picked up, and it's capable of being able to transmit objects directly into energy, into what's called utility energy. It's a huge store of energy you have on you. It's just going to teach you. He just shot you, so this is just teaching you a little bit about some of the core mechanics. So he basically got shot, so now you can heal yourself using nanites, using this another thing the PCU has. Yeah, it's got medical nanites, so you're able to use it to heal yourself. You can either just hit the 6 key to shortcut, or you can click the heal button on the left there, and then just click on your body, and it'll start healing. Now the interesting thing is that basically the nanite starts streaming into your body, and it takes a lot of energy. Oh, that's just the PCU. Yeah, that's the PCU you basically have in it's like a big backpack essentially. And what you can see is what it does actually is it stores utility energy. Yeah. Oh, I see what you're doing there. Yeah. We're gonna be putting tutorials for this this week. Actually, we're gonna be designing some tutorials for this. There you go. Yeah, there you go. I figured it out. Yeah.
I think I got it now. Yeah.
And tab takes you in and out of time slows down when you're in the screen. It doesn't stop. It just slows down.
Okay. Yeah.
You can. What it does is that you're healing over time when you activate your nanite. So over time, it looks like you're fully healed now. So that's good. So you hit tab to toggle in and out of this inventory mode.
So I pick up these objects to store as energy.
Yeah, those are just random junk, and it's just showing you that you're able to convert some objects directly into energy. Yeah, and which is basically your fuel. It fuels your repairing, fuels your medical nanites. It powers your energy weapons. It powers your shielding when you get them.
Yeah.
So now I would just telling you the fact that you've got armor. So with armor, you can take a lot more damage, obviously.
That's some very expensive armor.
Yes.
Uh-oh. Now he's shooting me. So I should use repair on the armor?
Yeah.
I guess so, yeah. And
there's a shortcut. You can hit the 7 key to shortcut automatically repair everything.
Okay, yeah. Oh, or I could just do that now. Okay, yeah.
Or you can do that. You can do that. You can do what you're doing there, yeah.
So what should I do now? Oh, now I'm going to another part.
Yeah, just jump on the platform. Trigger the next bit.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you filled up your PCU.
So now we have some... Where's the rifle? Do I have the rifle? No, not yet.
It's down there.
Oh, it's down there. Okay, yeah. Can I jump? Will I die?
You can.
Okay.
Yeah. No, you'll take a bit of damage, but down there, if you jump all the way down, you might take a bit of damage.
Okay. So now I got this non-lethal sonic pulse. So these are civilians, right?
Yes, those green guys are civilians. So it's just it's a simulation of one of the things that Consortium bishops do, which is obviously to protect people from bad guys.
Yeah.
So virtual bad guys will be spawning here in a bit.
Oh, okay.
And yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, every weapon has, well, the two main Consortium weapons have two firing modes. So you've got primary and secondary firing modes. The primary can be charged up, and you want to hold it down for a while to get the most effect. You can lower their stamina. Hold it. Keep it hold down.
Oh,
Just kept it, holding it down. No. Just press it and hold. There you go. And let go, and you get a much bigger effect if you let it charge for a while.
Oh, yeah.
And then you can hit E, and you can inject them with nanites, and then they'll get incapacitated permanently.
Perfect. So
yeah, the enemies have stamina and health. So with stamina indicates their consciousness level. As they're low in stamina, they become disoriented. They can't shoot straight, and eventually they'll fall unconscious or just land. They'll be on the floor, so disoriented, and that allows you to go up and then use your nanites to knock them out, to completely knock them out. Good. Of course, they have health as well, and health indicates their actual physical state. If they health hit 0, they die.
Cool.
So yeah, you just picked up a gun off his body. Now, this is something else, again, where we're tweaking this week, actually, in terms of adding a final tutorial. Your PCU is completely full, so you're not going to be able to pick up the gun that you need to pick up to continue the tutorial. So, just take you through. Hit tab. Hit tab again. Go into the inventory screen.
I'm just you're just a little.
Oh, I'm sorry. The screen's behind. The screen's behind. Yeah. Hey. Click on that blue bar at the bottom. See how the bar's all full of blue?
Yep.
You filled up your entire PC with utility energy. So click that. Just click it, and you'll see vent energy. Vent, like, say 20,000.
Oh, it's in percent.
It's percent. Yeah.
So just like how
click
much?
It, just vent. Oh, say vent like 30%. Then
30%. Okay. Yeah. Perfect.
Now you've created rooms. Now you've got room to actually store stuff in your PCU. See, the thing is that the PCU both stores objects in energy form, and it also stores utility energy. And it's up to the player to decide how much space they want to devote towards storing stuff. So that personal container unit storage is kind of like a backpack, but it's basically items represented as energy. And so the PCU it's up to you entirely to decide how much raw utility energy you want versus space for gear, right?
Cool.
So yeah, now you can pick up those guns and the two ammo packs there.
Yeah.
And that triggers the next part of the story.
Cool. So I should use. This is the new rifle I just got, I think.
It's extremely difficult to get publicity for a small game, especially in this day and age. Extremely.
Kosny asked if it's difficult. Yeah, it is definitely. But I think that I feel that something like the popularity of Steam has definitely made me more aware of smaller games, but at the same time, of course, now you have a ton of games coming out on Steam every week, and just the Steam thing is just the end part. You also have to get the game funded and everything. So
that's right. Yeah,
definitely a challenge.
It's a long haul. In order to make an indie game in this day and age, you have to be really, really hungry. You have to be really dedicated. You have to be really focused and tenacious.
Cool.
Yes.
And Jury can asked if it's if you plan to localize it to Spanish.
Oh yes. In fact, definitely. That is the was the first stretch goal. We're not going to release it. It turns out we started the process of localizing it in Spanish, but there's so much text, there's so much voice in this game. It's actually a massive undertaking to localize even just one language. So Spanish will be next, but it's unclear when it'll be available in Spanish. Sometime after launch.
Cool. So do you have a price for the game in mind?
Yes, $19.99 will be the price. However, we will be launching with a bit of it'll be a bit cheaper than that when we first launch. We'll have like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a discount when we first launch. That'll carry into the Steam Christmas sales and whatnot.
Cool. Krosny asks if you want to localize the game in Danish.
I would love to have the game localized in every language on Earth. To be honest with you, I think Consortium is a game that everybody should play because it's very much a global game. There's people on Zenlo from everywhere on the world, right? It's not centric to any one country. It's very much we're looking at everybody on the earth as being one. Really, that's one of the core themes of Consortium.
Yeah.
So yeah, yes, please. Matter of fact, if we're successful enough and there's people willing to help us out, I'd love to we could get a small community going of localizers, people from various countries that are willing to help out with the localization process. Because we've got there's 150,000 words in our information console, which you haven't even looked at yet. If you want to take a look at that now, we can do that. And we'll head back to your cabin. Head back to your cabin there.
Oh yeah, I just initiated a chat.
Other way.
Yeah, okay. It's just because I'm way ahead of you and talking to a guy.
Right, no problem. That sounds good.
But I won't do so.
We'll probably end up, as far as localization, we'll probably choose the languages that are the most different, that represent large chunks of people, and then work our way down the list. Basically, the languages is popular, and just go from there. Yeah, I know German probably might be our second one. Looks like, as far as our Kickstarter backers, they have say basically. The Kickstarter backers get to have a large say on
definitely
which is next. Yeah.
So I'm back at the cabin, I think.
Okay, there's a console right there. You just need to click use on the console.
Ah. Oh, so this is like the Mass Effect codec?
Yes, this is our codex. And it's huge. It's bigger than Mass Effect. It is probably the biggest codex ever created for a role-playing game. I kid you not. It's huge.
Okay, this is
our readers are inspired. So the idea is all those words there are ones that were unlocked automatically through conversation.
Oh, so it will update as I play the game.
Yes, they update as you play the game. Yes, you can also type in whatever you want into that search field. Just type whatever. You can only type in single words, but you can type in whatever you want, and then click search, and it'll automatically search for documents with those words. So there's various hidden bits and pieces, and you can spend hours in this thing, digging through, looking for clues, and looking for more information on all the characters and all the events in the game. Yeah. As you play through the game, there are there's everything that happens in the Consortium is very global. So everything that happens aboard Zenlo is basically immediately told to the worldwide press. So you'll still start to see news updates as things happen aboard Zenlo. You start to see news updates that describe what's happening from the outside perspective.
Cool.
But yeah, there's a lot of reading. You could spend 10 hours or more reading that thing.
So how many people are you on the team?
That's a complicated question. There are basically Interdimensional Games is 7 people technically.
Yeah.
I would say that includes business people. I mean, we have one guy that's been helping us out on the business side for a long time. He has no game dev stuff, but he's helped on that stuff quite a bit. So as far as actual game dev people, I'd say there's probably 6 full timers that have seen us through to this point. There are a lot of other people that have come on through the course of production that have helped out in significant ways. Have come on and then left, and for various reasons. So if you think you can take a look at the credits, you can see that's a pretty accurate representation of all the people that have made this game. Cool. But yeah, it's a small focus team. The thing is, the 6 people, these are all superstars, mind you. These are all rock stars. Okay, this team is the best team I've ever worked with in my career. Really, they're the best. It's unbelievable how dedicated each of them has been, and how much sheer amount of work they've all put in to see this game to reality.
Yeah, cool. We got a new question two new questions in the chat. One from Groshny asking, how is dialogue written for the game? Also text in consoles and stuff like that. Is it written like before you started programming the actual game, or is it like sort of, yeah?
That's an awesome question. Yeah, we had a full screenplay of the game written by myself actually years and years ago, before when I made the first prototype of Zenlo, which is all like a built-in brushes, just totally it was a Half-Life mod built entirely in Hammer. But that story is if you compare that screenplay to the current one, you'd laugh, because it's unbelievable how far it's come. Essentially, we did have a lot of the story planned out. I had an arc planned for the whole thing really from the very beginning, before we started anything at all. And then based everything from that. But as we went on, we did do a lot of writing. Especially the second half of the game, we wrote really late in the production, because at that point we had a good handle on all our interactive storytelling systems, because we basically designed the interactive storytelling from scratch in terms of how you talk to characters and how the conversation system works and how our dialogue trees work and things like that nature. We invented that stuff. So we wrote the first half of the game with that sort of learning how it worked, and then once we had a really good handle on it, we had the first half of the game done. we then wrote the second half of the game, knowing everything we did, and having learned everything we did from playtesting the first half of the game, what worked storytelling wise, and we've been making edits ever since. We're still in the editing process even now. We're still Steve, my brother, who's the principal writer, is constantly going in there and making little snippets to lines and moving this line here, and just like we're literally, it's almost like we're making a film, and it's all done, and we're just looking at little bits and pieces now, and we're just getting it all just right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the text, like from what I can read, I can't really hear the voice. I think I turned it maybe down a bit too
far
much.
down.
Yeah, I think I'll turn it up a little bit so you can actually hear the voice work a little bit more. But
these two characters are great. This is actually a really great exchange here. Yeah, they turn up here a bit. It's really cool.
I think I'll just turn it up. Yeah, because I think that the text is really good so far. The actual, like what they are saying, it's pretty natural. So that's cool.
Awesome. Yeah, that was actually one of our key goals. We wanted to avoid exposition. No exposition. It's just people. It's just talking. It's chatting. It's like talking to humans. It's like what we're doing, right? We're having a conversation. We wanted to have our NPCs modeled in the same way. So I'm glad you're seeing that. That's awesome.
Yeah. I think it's also just like, it's like how big is this ship that I'm on? Of the shuttle?
It is comparable. It's a bit bigger. It's a little bit bigger than the Airbus A380.
Yeah.
So it's actually very much. It's actually inspired by the Airbus, the A380. Actually, it's a beautiful aircraft. I love that machine. And this is bigger. It's bigger. It's like the fuselage is bigger, but it's still comparable in size. Yeah.
Cool.
That's one of the things we wanted to do, is we wanted to make it very believable. Like literally, this airplane, everything you're seeing here is all built to scale. It's all built within a realistically designed aircraft. So, yeah.
Cool. What about the game length?
That is really dependent upon players, but we've had reports of people coming in saying they've spent 10 hours with the game. They beat it in 10 hours. Others probably spend, but yeah, that same person spent almost spend a lot more time actually reading information consoles as well. So you could probably spend, especially with replays. So this game is very highly replayable. You're going to want to play it at least twice, to get all the story threads, all the different things you can do based on your choices.
Cool.
At least I would say you get solid full 8 hour experience. Minimum, I would say. To be honest with you, it's actually longer than we thought it would be when we started up. we thought it would be like 6 or 7 hours, but it's people are saying 10 hours. So, yeah.
Cool. So is it part of like a series of games, or is it like self-contained?
Well, we are seeing a series. Yes, this actually is. I don't think we haven't really said this, but this actually is the first game of a trilogy we have in mind.
Cool.
But this first game still does have there's a bunch of story threads that started, and many of them are closed. There is some stuff. I don't want to give any spoilers. Obviously, there's some stuff that's some questions unanswered, and there's things that do occur at the end that leave some question marks for the next game. But there's still a lot of stuff that's closed off. We try to make it as self-contained as we could, but at the same time, it's still the beginning of a rather large story that we've been seeing for years. So we are hoping to be a game series.
Cool.
Some other questions here looks like.
Oh yeah. Yeah, question asks if you're a pilot, or are you a pilot?
I'd love to be a pilot. I've loved planes since I was a kid. I'm fascinated with them. And it's on my bucket list to learn how to fly, definitely. I have not done it yet, but I will.
Cool.
I will, yes. Some kind of energy bar, something to how much energy to assemble would be useful just interface. You have to access. Yeah, it's actually Nicoin. There is. The crosshair at the center. There's a little bar. See that? There's a little bar there. That's actually that's how much utility energy you have. That's right there, right in the center of your screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see it. It's just like a half circle around the crosshair. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
yeah, cool. I thought it was the purple stuff over my like the picture of my guy to the left. What is that purple line?
That's armor and helmet. Armor. So you've got the bars there. The bar to the right is your battle utility suit health, like how damaged the suit is, and then the helmet, the one up top is your helmet. How healthy it is.
Cool. So Jurakan is asking if parts 2 and 3 are also going to Kickstarter.
We do have plans to kickstart part 2. Yes, we do next year.
Cool.
Yeah, that's yeah. Definitely after we've launched this game and totally closed out the Kickstarter for this first game, that's for sure. Making sure everybody's gotten all the rewards, all that kind of stuff. That's really important to us.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, of course. What's it like? Like going back to the Kickstarter thing, like people have talked a lot about, like it can be easy to like shoot too high with the rewards stuff. And some Kickstarters have ended up spending way too much money on like rewards. What's it like? Like the whole Kickstarter idea, like you get something from backing. Has that been profitable to the development, or do you feel it's not really something you like?
Oh, I think it's awesome. I love the idea. We're excited about the rewards we're going to send to the backers. We're putting a lot of work. We're putting as much work into them as we are into the game in many respects. We want everything to be. When it comes to interdimensional games, we want everything to be.
Cool.
For our budget. So it's a bit of a juggling act, but. No, we're super duper excited and happy to provide. And the thing is, it's not going to be cheap stuff. Like the t-shirts are going to be the best you can get, and the posters are going to be the best you can get. And
it also seems like something that, like when you had the old, like this is sort of like an old school PC game in a way. Reminiscent of like the stuff from the 90s. The great stuff from the 90s, and you also have all these cool things in the boxes, like cloth maps and just cool boxes. So in a way, I think it really suits the game.
Oh, 100%, totally. I'd love to be. As a matter of fact, the Kickstarter backers, some of them have ordered. We have like an actual DVD, like a special edition DVD they're going to be getting. Cool. We'll be packing all kinds of stuff into that DVD, and we may even include other surprises along with it. So we're. We actually have a really awesome high-res poster of Zenlo. It's extremely high-res. It's the entire thing. That's all detailed, diagrammed, everything else. Yeah. So you might want to go back and you missed actually with the there's a with the lights flickering. Go down the hallway there. Go back down the hallway. No, not mission operations.
I'll just have to catch up with you. So back down the hallway, under the stairs.
Yeah, there's a door right across from where you came out, your cabin. There's a door right across.
Yeah. I did notice the flickering. This door. Not this door.
Not that door, the other one.
This door. Yes, I got it.
Cool. Want to walk into that room.
Oh, that's good lights. Uh-oh.
Wait, lock down that cabin immediately.
Way ahead of you, boss.
Is that Pawn 7? But I was just with him 2 minutes ago. What happened?
So you stumbled upon a murder.
Yeah.
Quietly get up there.
This is a good cliffhanger to end the stream on also.
Yes.
You have to figure out what's going on.
Yep, this is the beginning. This sets up.
At least until Rook 13 can take a look.
Cool.
I sure can, mate. You just want me.
Just take it easy. Let Rook 13 do his job first, and then.
Hey, last minute questions. I just have a team meeting at 11, so I can't stay for too much.
No, we'll just stop the stream right here. Does the chat have any final questions for Gregory?
Yeah.
Otherwise,
looks like there's a couple here. If it becomes a big success, would you sell the company to Blizzard and make it mainstream? No. Keep it indie all the way to the end.
Cool.
We'll never sell it. I'll never sell Interdimensional Games to some big company ever.
Yeah.
I am here.
So you're not going to develop Mass Effect 4.
No, I'll let EA and BioWare keep their Mass Effect. They can keep doing that. There's a lot of good people working on those on those games, so they can keep doing it.
Perfect.
No, we're really passionate about Consortium, and we want to keep going with these games. So yeah.
Perfect. But everybody can purchase the game on next week, sometime next week.
Yes, sometime next week. Yep, watch for it in Steam. Yes.
Perfect. And for the people who have kickstarted it,
there'll be a patch for Oculus Rift. Yes. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah. Patch for Oculus Rift. Cool.
Yes,
Um,
we've got a dev kit, so we'll make it work for it.
Are
Yeah.
you kidding?
Cool. And for the Kickstarter backers, when will they get their hands on the game?
Kieran,
Also next week.
Same time.
to bed.
Okay.
Next week. Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for your time, and
pleasure.
thank you to all
Thank you.
the people in the chat. And yeah, good luck with the game, and thank you for chatting with me.
Anytime.